It's the last tournament. We need to make up some ground. Who should you pick in your fantasy fishing for the Bassmaster Elites? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. This is the last tournament on Mississippi River for the Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing. Hopefully you've had a successful year. I had climbed my way out of a big hole to start off. I was in that bottom third of the whole community. I rose myself up to that 92, 93%. I dropped back down after the last tournament. I am at 88.5% after Lake St. Clair. And hopefully I can finish out fairly strong. Digging myself that hole at the beginning was really tough. But I've made some good, successful tournaments since then. This Mississippi is going to be a completely different fantasy fishing or fishing tournament than most of the one we've seen this year. I do not think forward-facing sonar is going to have a big play. Doesn't mean that anglers won't be using it, but for me, I'm going to pick people in this group that are successful over the years fishing this kind of fishing. It's going to be frogs, it's going to be jigs, it's going to be some topwater bites. I think that is what we're going to see, and I'm going to pick anglers because of that. Now, it might be the wrong decision. I actually had someone tell me the other day that they use ChatGPT to pick their fantasy fishing in MLF and in Bassmaster Elites. In the Elites, it was tough for them, but in the Bassmaster and MLF, BPT, they were killing it. Maybe I should be using AI to pick everything. No, can't do that yet. But the Mississippi River is going to be interesting. But this is going to be different than what I called Scopapalooza for the Lake St. Clair event. The Mississippi will not be a scope fest. But let's look at Group A through E, some of the favorites, and I'm going to tell you why I'm picking my team. Now, Group A has John Cox at 6.8%, Chris Johnson at 20.8%, Trey McKinney at 30%, Jay Shakura at 23.4%, Kyle Welcher at 5.2%, and Patrick Walters at 1.8%, which is really disappointing. Patrick Welcher is one of the best anglers. I really like John Cox in this group. He's not my pick, though. The battle between Angler of the Year with Trey and Chris should be absolutely amazing. However, last time they were at this body of water, Chris Johnston took home second place. Chris Johnston will be my pick, and that means he'll be Angler of the Year too. Group B has Seth Fider at 16.4, Easton Fothergill at 41.7, Caleb Kupel at 2.0, Jordan Lee at 7.7, Pat Schlapper at 7.4, and Brian Schmidt at 9.2. Seth Fider is just, I don't think we give enough credit to Seth Fider. That's the God's honest truth. He is an absolutely amazing angler. Easton Fothergill is on somewhat a tear. He had a good tournament at Lake St. Clair. He is currently fishing the Opens and fishing very well. And moving into the Mississippi River probably is pretty close to how he's always fished. However, and I don't think Easton is a bad pick here, I'm taking Caleb Kupel here. Caleb has had some absolutely stellar finishes here. I don't know if this is home pond, but this is the kind of fishing that he likes. This is where he's from, this vicinity. He's fished his whole life in Wisconsin. I like that. And I have to do something different. Everyone's going to take Easton. I understand. Caleb is at 2%. I'm gonna stick with Caleb here. Group C has Keith Combs at 5.4, John Garrett, amazing year for John, 14.4, Brandon Palaniuk at 43.8, Hunter Shryock at 10.1, and Dakota Eber at 8.7. I have to be honest. My gut tells me to take Brandon Palaniuk or Dakota Eber here. I think Eber has not had the year he should have. When he was with BPT, he was one of the best anglers out there. I think he got off to a slow start and has made up some ground, and I just think Dakota is one of those great anglers. I also think Brandon Palaniuk is one of the top 5 anglers out there. I think Palaniuk is fantastic. However, I know Hunter Shryock is on a momentum tear, and I know this is a kind of fishing that he loves to do, and this is his fishery. He loves throwing a frog. He loves to throw a jig. He loves all that stuff. He is ready for this tournament. And I think Hunter has a good shot of making a top 10 here. So I'm taking Hunter Shryock in Group C. In Group D, we have Drew Benton at, I don't know what that says, 18.7 or 10.7. Jason Christie at 17.4. Jeff Gustafson at 10.7. Greg Hackney at 15.6. Gerald Swindle at 11.2. Jacob Prosnick at 7.5, I think that says. My chicken scratch is hard to read. I think Jeff and Greg and Gerald and Jacob and Drew are all great picks. I'm taking Jason Christie here. I think Jason has had an off year. I think this is a tournament that fits the kind of fishing that most of those guys do. Most of those guys are not scopers. So it's really hard to decide which one to pick. I'm just going on what I think and what I know from the past. And I know that in the past, Jason Christie has done very well on Mississippi River. So I'm going to tie into that and hope that he does well. And in Group E, we have Mike Iaconelli at 7.9. We have Logan Latuso at 14.8. Paul Mueller at 11.3. We have Matt Robertson at 30.4. I want to make sure I say congratulations and couldn't be happy that you had a happy and healthy baby. And then Alex Weatherall at 11.7. I'll be honest, at this point in time, I had written down Logan Latuso, and I'm going to stick with it. But I think Matt probably will do very well here. I think Matt did well on Lake St. Clair and is pushing himself to try to get himself out of that bottom 20% of the anglers because he doesn't deserve to be there. However, Logan has done really well out there, and I think he's motivated to try to make up as much ground as possible to requalify for the 2026 elites. And I think someone that's got a chip on their shoulder sometimes does better. I only use that from past experiences for myself. Motivation is crucial and very important to a lot of people. Motivation can get you a lot of things. So I'm going with Logan Latuso in Group E. Who are your picks? Group A's through E for the Bassmaster final event on the Mississippi River. Comment below and tell me what you think. Did you enjoy this season as a fantasy fishing player? I hope you did. Comment below and tell me what you think. Thanks to all the new subscribers and members and everyone who's interactive on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I can't say thank you enough. It's humbling. It's an awesome experience, and it just keeps me motivated, to be honest. So I try really hard to come up with the right topics without bashing people and to try to stay as seemingly positive as possible, though it is hard at times. And I'm really disappointed in a lot of content creators that just seem to want to just knock everybody down, and shame on them. But what do you think? Comment below and tell me what you think. If you're not a subscriber, click that button and also click that bell so you know when the next video drops. I really would appreciate it. Remember, take your kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.